and we're going to get started here. Hi everybody, it's Miss Sinclair. It's Tuesday, March the 9th, and we're going to start class today by going back and doing some corrections from lesson 15. So please open your CAMI document for lesson 15. Everything's been graded, and there were some problems that people had with this assignment, and they were the same kinds of mistakes. So I want to make sure we go over them together, because today's lesson is taking this and like cranking it up on steroids. So we got to make sure that we got this under control first. So in this first problem, 5b minus 18, one of the problems, Ashton, one of the problems is that people wrote 5b. But that doesn't tell me what math problem this is. So when a 5 and a b are next to each other, what does that mean we're doing with those two things? Ashton, what are we doing with 5b? So you needed to write 5 times b minus 18. So if you did not have that one correct, go ahead and fix that right now. 5 times b.
Yeah, I have that one right.
And the same thing happened on D. So let's go to D next, because it's the same mistake. 2b. You have to write out what it is you're doing with 2 and b. So this would be 10 plus 2 times b. So several people missed just those two, and for that exact reason. Yes?
That's what I did. And it said that
Do you have the word times in there? That's why. You wrote 2b.
I said multiply by
2 multiplied by b. Read me exactly what it says.
10 plus 2 multiplied by b.
Okay, I'll fix that one. That's correct. Okay, almost everybody got this one correct. There were a couple of people that wrote n times 2. What should that one say?
And 10 divided by
N divided by 2. And this one, there were a bunch of people. So let's look at this one. They all got the A plus part first correct. So this part was pretty much everybody got right. But some people went on to describe this right here as the sum of D and 6. Why is it wrong to say the sum of D and 6? Kaden?
because sum means addition.
Sum means addition, not subtraction. So you would have to say, you could say it a couple of different ways. A plus the difference of D and 6. Or you could say A plus the quotient, or not, the quantity of, not quotient, because quotient means divide. So go ahead and make those quick corrections if you needed to do any of them. And then hit resubmit. And then we're going to start today's lesson. Yes, sir.
We didn't resubmit if we got a 10.
Nope, that's just if you needed to do corrections. Today is lesson 16. Now, we've had a couple of interruptions today. We've had the whole contact tracing thing going on. We had the video that we needed to watch, which was kind of long, and corrections. So we're probably not going to finish the whole module today. We'll see how far we get. But this is going to be similar to what we did yesterday. So please close your Chromebooks now. Can you put that in the big bucket outside or bring it in? Okay, it says to underline the key words. I'm going to use my highlighter instead of underlining the key words in each of these. Braden, can you dim the lights a little bit? It's kind of hard to read now that we're on this part. Thank you. All right, there we go. The sum of twice b and 5. So what are some important words there, Shane?
Some.
Yep. And some means what? I'm going to put a little addition sign next to that word. What's another important word? B is not a word and 5 is not a word. Aaron?
Twice.
Twice. What does it mean when we say twice something?
Multiply by 2.
Times 2. Exactly right. The quotient of C and D, what's the key word there, Zoe? Yep, that's exactly right.
Wait, do we put the parentheses or?
Nope, quotient is division. That's not quantity, remember? Those are different words.
Do we put parentheses?
We're just highlighting words. We're not writing anything. Hayden, look at what I'm doing. All we're doing. Oh, so quotient means to divide, so we're going to put a division sign. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for reminding me. Okay, part C. A raised to the 5th power, then increased by the product of 5 and C. What are the important words? Caitlin, give me one of them. Product means we're going to multiply. Shane?
Increase.
Increased by. What does it mean when we increase something? Shane? Add. And what's the last part? Ashton? There's one more part in C.
Fifth power.
Yep, raised to the 5th power, which means we're going to have an exponent, right?
Experience points.
Okay, part D. What are the important words? Ashton?
Quantity.
Yep, give me another one.
Plus.
Give me another one.
I.
You got it. So quantity means we have to have parentheses. Plus means we're going to add. And divided means we're going to divide. Okay, Connor Stewart, why don't you take E? What do you think about this one?
Less than.
Yep,
Product.
you got it. Exactly right. Less than means we're going to subtract. And product means what?
Multiply.
Yep, you got it. All right, Hayden, you get the last one.
Okay, times, that means multiply, and then increase, that means plus.
Perfect. Okay, now they're going to give us the same exact things, but they changed the directions. So this is the same thing they wrote up here. We're going to change them from words to math. So we're going to translate to our second language. We're going to make this look like math. So the sum of means I'm going to add something. Twice B and 5.
Twice means
Times 2. So I'm going to put 1 here. There's B and 5 times 2. The sum of twice B and 5. What about the quotient of C and D? Quotient means I'm going to do what? Nope. Divide. You want to write it as a division problem or as a fraction? Which one do you want? Shane?
fraction.
Okay, so my fraction is going to be C divided by D. If you use a division sign, it would look like this instead. A raised to the 5th power. How do I write that? Shane?
A.
There's a little 5 up there. A to the 5th power increased by the product of 5 and C. How do I write that part?
Put it in parentheses.
You don't have to.
Oh, well, you put 5 times C.
A raised to the 5th power, then increased by the product of 5 and C. The quantity of, oh, that's where the parentheses come in. The quantity of A plus B divided by 4, or you could put it this way. I always prefer the fractions because they're easier to finish for me. You can do it either way, whatever makes the most sense to you. Any questions on that?
No.
Okay, we got 2 more of these. Caden, you're next. Number 10. 10 less than. Remember that less than thing? It doesn't say subtract or minus. It says less than. So if I give you $10, what's 5 less than that? So you got to switch the numbers around, right? So it's going to be 10 less than. And how do I write the product of 15 and C, Caden?
Times 15.
15 times C looks like that. So 10 less than 15C. All right, Mr. Crowfoot, you get this one. 5 times D. How do I write that in math?
5 times B.
Just 5D, right? You don't put the time sign in anymore. So 5 times D, then increased by 8. How do I write that part, Gavin?
Plus A.
Yep. Okay, now they're going to give us stories. We're going to start telling stories. All right, let's make this Shane and Zoe. All right, Shane has 4 more dollars than Zoe. If Y is the amount that Zoe has, write an expression to show how much money Shane has. So Zoe has Y dollars. We don't know what that number is. It's some number. What do we know about Shane? He has 4 more dollars than that. How would I write that? 4 more than Y. More than means to do what? Add. So whatever Zoe has, he has 4 more dollars. That kind of makes sense? Because this is what we're going to be practicing on next. I mean, this is pretty much where we're headed.
This is easy.
Mario is missing half of his assignments. Ashton's missing half of his assignments because when Miss Sinclair's on Schoology conferences, he's hanging out on some other place, pretending to do his math. He's looking at me like he's all, okay, so A represents how many assignments were given. So there's A assignments, and he's missing half of those. How do I find out what he does with the total number of assignments? What's half of something? Like, how do you get half? If I say 24, what's half of that? How do you get to that 12? How do you get to it, though? What do you do, Aaron?
24 divided by 2.
You're going to divide by 2. Ready? The total number of assignments divided by 2. All right. Oh, I'm going to make this one Josephine. That's my little granddaughter that was born last summer. Because this is about a baby, it looks like. Josephine's weight has tripled since her first birthday. If W represents how much she weighed on her first birthday, how much does she weigh now? This was her weight on her first birthday. Now it has tripled. What do I do to that?
W times 3.
You got it. 3W.
Oh.
Remember, you're taking out those time signs now when we write it like this. When you put it in words, you have to say times. All right? Hayden brings cupcakes to school. It's so nice of you. And he gives them to his 5 best friends who share them equally. What kind of math problem is that going to be? We're going to divide, right? So what's the first number? What's the whole amount of cupcakes he has? What do they tell us in here? To use the letter C. And he's going to share them with his 5 friends who are each going to eat the same amount. Cupcakes, however many there are, divide by 5. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for that. Mrs. Amant combines all her atlases and dictionaries. So when she combines them, what is she doing?
Together.
Shane? Adding. So I'm going to atlas plus dictionaries, right? She's going to add them together. And then she divides that among 10 different tables. How do I finish this to make it divide by 10? Shane? Yep, divided by 10. If you chose to do the division sign, check this out. You have to have parentheses because that's dividing the whole amount of all of them together divided by 10. Not just D divided by 10, but all of them together. All right, to improve his basketball, Braden's coach told him he needs to take 4 times as many free throws, 4 times as many free throws, and 4 times as many jump shots every day. F for free throws and J for jump shots. And he has to do 4 times that and 4 times that. Shane? So what is going to be 4 times F? It's going to be 4F, 4 times as many free throws. And what do I put down for the word and? No, and. In math means what? Yes, add. And 4 times as many jump shots. Let's see how far we're getting. Okay?
Please tell me we'll still have free time today.
You do every day, don't you?
We do.
Just about. Mark the text by highlighting keywords and then write an expression in math. So I'm going to highlight decreased by and squared. How do you think I'm going to write that in math? Hayden?
B subtract 2 with a little 3 on with a little subtract C with a little 2 on it.
C squared. Yep, exactly right.
We may actually get to the end of this.
We might. 24 divided by the product of 2 and A. So I'm going to start with 24. Yep.
Can't see it.
Whoops. Thanks. I'm going to start with 24 divided by, and how do I write the product of 2 and A?
2 times A under it.
2A. We're not putting time signs in, guys.
Right. Getting
150 decreased by the quantity of 6 plus B. Caitlin Jones, what do you think? The quantity of, yeah, parentheses. Beautiful. It's absolutely perfect. All right, Aaron, this one's for you. The sum of twice C and 10. The sum means I'm going to do what?
Add.
I'm going to add.
So C plus 10, then you put the parentheses around it with a 2 under that. So C plus 10 times 2.
Exactly right. You're going to add C plus 10, and you're going to do 2 of those. All right, Noah, you get this one. Noah had $35, but then he spent M. If you spend money, is that add or subtract?
subtract.
Noah's got this one. So what did you start with? And then you're going to subtract how much? M. We don't know. How much did you spend? 50? You only had 35, right? Okay. Zoe saved her money and was able to quadruple her original amount, which was M. So she had this much money and she quadrupled it. What does that mean, Zoe?
3 times.
Nope, quad.
4 times.
Woo, she made some money. Caitlin increased her grade G by 4 points and then doubled it. So Caitlin, here's your grade. What'd you do first?
And,
Increase by 4. How would I write that? And then doubled it, the whole thing.
2.
Okay? Okay, Aaron had M pieces of candy and he ate 5 of them. How do you write that part, Aaron? If you ate 5, are you adding or taking away?
Taking away, so M minus 5.
Yep. Then he split up whatever was left equally, which means I'm going to do what with this answer?
Divide.
Divide it among 4 friends. To find out how much paint is needed, Mr. Jones needs to square the side length, which is an S, and then subtract 15. So how do you write the square of S? Shane?
S.
Yep. I'm going to square the side
Hang on.
and then subtract 15. How you guys feeling about this so far? Okay.
Pretty good.
Luis bought X cans of cola to the party. When he brought them, was that adding or subtracting? He brought something to the party? Okay, we got 35. Faith brought more. And Deshaun brought more. How much did they bring all together? What does the word all together tell us we're going to do?
Add.
Add all of them. So what do we add? Tell me what to write first. Caitlin?
S.
The second person brought D, and the third person brought, there you go.
Easy.
What do you think?
Problem set. We do it in
Problem set, you're going to answer in Cami.
yeah, wait.
And let's see, you're only going to do 4 of these, so let me pick the 4. One, 3, 4, and 5 is your assignment for today. You can go ahead and open up your Cami document, type those answers right in there, and we are all set.